Dear family, it's election season and we're all voting. But the voting I'm talking about is one that we do every day, multiple times a day. We use our money, a powerful tool, to vote for the food that we're going to eat and that we're going to feed our families. This has major consequences and an impact on not only our health, but also our planet. So today I want to talk to you about a specific vote, a specific thing you eat, beef. I want to go through the differences and the impacts of eating pasture-raised, grass-fed beef opposed to feedlot, grain-fed, conventional beef. This is an important topic because it has huge influences for your health, the quality of your life, your family's life, and everyone that we share this planet on. So I've always had a passion, an affinity, and curiosity for nutrition, everything nutrition. But I realized the gap in my knowledge was the difference on this grass-fed beef opposed to grain-fed beef. So I poured over the research and I'm excited to share with you what I found. So there are many health benefits that make grass-fed beef a superfood, including that it's leaner with better fat content and more vitamins, less toxin in it, but it's also better for our environment. Less greenhouse gases, as well as better soil quality and less fossil fuel burn to get it. So let's dive in to why one is a superfood and one is a toxic waste. In the words of health guru Abel James, he said, when you eat beef, you're not just eating the cow, you're eating the whole food chain. So what makes this grass-fed beef better for your health? Well, on these pastures, the cows are free to roam around and run, which makes them leaner, less fat. But the fat they do have has a much higher quality content, including it's much higher in omega-3s. In fact, 4 times as many omega-3s in grass-fed over grain-fed beef. Omega-3s you might have heard of, they're all the rage right now. They're important for your brain health as well as ramping down inflammation to ward off chronic illnesses. Also, since there's less fat, it means there's less calories. So if the average American was to make this one switch, they would lose on average 6 pounds a year. Imagine what that could do for an obesity epidemic. Also, there's another fatty acid in there called CLA, which stands for conjugated linoleic acid. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, it's been clinically proven that more CLA leads to better body composition, and it also plays a role in fighting off cancer and heart disease. Now, in grass-fed beef, there's 5 times the amount of CLA than in grain-fed. Also, there's more vitamin E in grass-fed beef, which plays a role as an antioxidant in our body that prevents the stresses of aging and can help reduce the chances of getting cancer or atherosclerosis. But there are, on the reverse side, major health consequences to eating grain-fed beef. In a lot of these feedlots, there's poor practices and they're understaffed. So the cow manure will actually get mixed up with the beef, which leads to the highest cause of getting E. coli. But a study published in the Journal of Dairy Science took grain-fed cows and measured their E. coli and switched them to a grass-fed diet, and in just 5 days, the amount of E. coli in their system went down 1,000-fold. Also, grain-fed cows are pumped full of antibiotics to deal with the stresses of these less than desired living spaces. These antibiotics make the cow more hungry, which leads to the cow getting fatter, which means they can slaughter the cow and sell more of it. Also, they're pumped full of growth hormones that do the same thing. Now, whatever the cow can't filter in its liver and kidneys ends up getting stored in the cow's fat, which ends up getting stored in you. So there's no question that grass-fed beef can be a superfood for your health and quality of life and longevity, and that grain-fed can be toxic. But did you also know that it's better for the environment when the cow is pasture-raised? What happens? Well, on these green fields where the cows graze, it actually absorbs carbon out of our atmosphere. reducing greenhouse gases. Once the carbon's stored in the soil and grass becomes more nutritious. So when the cow eats it, the cow's healthier and has been shown to even produce more milk this way. According to the publication in the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture and Food, the U.S. is currently losing 3 billion tons of topsoil every year, oftentimes to row crops of corn and soy used to feed grain-fed cattle. But these pastures where grass-fed cows can graze can reduce this loss by a staggering 93%. There are some serious consequences, though, to grain-feeding cows for our environment. So in order for these crops to feed the cows, they use a fossil fuel-based fertilizer, and then they use pesticides to spray on the crops. These pesticides end up in the cow, which end up in you. Also, they use heavy machinery to harvest and till and plant these crops, again using more non-renewable fuel, and then they get shipped off to a mill where they're flaked, dried, and then mixed, again using heavy machinery, and then lastly shipped to the feedlot, again using more non-renewable fuel. This is a lot of fuel we're using just to feed the cows something unhealthy that makes us unhealthy. Also, in a lot of these feedlots, excess cow excrement will build up. So the feces and the urine will build up, and this produces a lot of ammonia and toxic gases that make the cows sick, so they need to pump them full of more antibiotics. It makes the farmers and work staff there sick, and then once it builds up in these feedlots and sheds, they ship it off to a nearby field. This excess dump concentrates nitrogen and phosphorus in the soil that damages the soil and can damage nearby water and kill aquatic life. Yeah, this is pretty sad. These are known as dead zones. So it's no question that it's better for our planet as well when the cows are grass-fed and pasture-raised, and they evenly spread their manure around the fields where they pasture-raise to fertilize the grass and nutrient in a natural and safe way. So let's finish by looking at these benefits versus risks. So it's better for your health to eat grass-fed beef, less fat, but better fat with more omega-3s, more CLA and more vitamin E, and less toxins. It's better for our environment, less greenhouse gases, better soil composition, and less non-renewable fossil fuel being burned. Where can you get this grass-fed beef? Well, these days, anywhere. A local restaurant, any given grocery store, and you can even take it a step further and buy it from a local farmer on sites, and you can find these farmers on sites like localharvest.org or eatwild.com/products. So oftentimes the biggest hesitation I hear when someone's trying to decide whether or not they should buy grass-fed or grain-fed is the price. But think about this. Grain-fed beef costs about $5.99 a pound right now. Grass-fed, $7.99 a pound. This is a minuscule 50 cents a serving. So, next time when deciding which to buy, use your money wisely and vote for better health for you, your family, and for the planet. Thank you.